It was so
I've never seen you happier.
He was how scared was he?
So scared. He threw it up and then he realized what he did and he just did this panic.
He paralyzed. Fear in headlights.
Hope you enjoyed the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
World Star.
Now's the time to travel and be with the people you care about the most. And at Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express, we're helping you be there for less. Save at least 25% at thousands of hotels worldwide if you book by September 24th. You won't want this moment to pass you by. So book today at HolidayInn.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Stugatz here. Dell has something extra for small businesses, up to 45% off during their semi-annual sale. It's a perfect time to update to Windows 10 with huge deals on business computers featuring Intel Core processors, plus free shipping on everything. Call Small Business Technology Advisors who can help you achieve your business goals affordably with low monthly payments on the right tech for you. Just call 877-BUY-DELL. That's 877-BUY-DELL, or visit Dell.com/business deals for semi-annual sales savings.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update. The UWF football team is gearing up for their second game of the season on Saturday as they look to get their first win for the 2019 season. The Argos hit the road for Rome, Georgia, where they will be taking on the Shorter University Hawks. Kickoff is scheduled around noon with a pregame show at 11:30. Will Kennedy will have the call for the Argos on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The women's golf team finished second at the Full Moon Invitational at Timberline Golf Course on Tuesday, with 4 players finishing in the top 15 of the tournament. Not a bad start for new head coach Kristen Dorsey, who's in her first year as head coach. And Saturday was a big day for women's soccer coach Joe Bartlinski after he won his 500th game as head coach. This came after UWF defeated Trevecca Nazarene 2-0. I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update for ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and are behind on your monthly payments, you need to make this free call right now. 800-428-4187. When you call the Stop Debt Hotline, you're taking the first steps for help. Debt specialists are part of a real team who will help you with all of your options. You could stop the collection calls and letters forever by calling the completely confidential toll-free number right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can handle your debt forever. Imagine no more late nights and no more debt. Don't try to face your creditors alone. Call the Stop Debt Hotline right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. Get free information now by calling the Stop Debt Hotline. 800-428-4187. Non-attorney spokesperson paid for by Debt Resolution Helpline. 102 Northeast 2nd Street, number 183, Boca Raton, Florida, 33432.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
Fall is here, but riding season is not over. It's Harley-Davidson of Pensacola's fantastic fall event. 4 days of live music with Pirates, Rito's Reptiles, vendors, delicious food, and you've got yourself a fantastic fall event this weekend. It kicks off tonight with a pirate-themed bike night. And Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, the best-dressed pirate wins the booty. Plus, right now, get closeout prices on pre-owned inventory with Harley-Davidson's black and orange tag sale. Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Let's ride.
Hey, Chad Brillante here from the Sports Drive. Well, mixed bag in the South in college football this week. Not the best overall week for the SEC, but Alabama and Georgia continue to win. While in Tallahassee, more domain names are being bought, like FireTaggart or FreeWilly.com. Probably don't want to Google the last one. Awesome to see a record-setting performance from Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, much sooner than many expected. And Bo knows comebacks at Auburn. They'll join myself and Joe Ford 5 to 7, Monday through Friday, for the Sports Drive, right here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola.
Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a better day than me. Hope you're having a better day than Adam Gase. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 on the AM, 99.1 FM. I am Joe Ford along with Coach K as we get rolling here. Week 2 of the NFL season starts tonight. We've got the Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. A divisional rivalry game. Should be a good one. Closely contested, I believe, to get the weekend started. A lot of college football talk to get to, but injuries really the story of the day. Coach, always glad to be with you here, sir. The news is not great out in New York. I have my Jets hat on. I drank a gallon of bleach before we went on air, and officially ready to call this season over if you're a New York Jets fan. But time to look ahead and join the Dolphins in the Tua sweepstakes, I guess.
I don't think there's that much to spare, Joe, to be honest with you. But it's a bleak day for the Jets. Now, when your quarterback has mononucleosis, and I can assure you there'll be at least 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and maybe more. It could be more depending on how he reacts to this illness. It's a pretty serious thing, one lick in the wrong place and you can rupture your spleen immediately. And that can happen to you. There's no contact when you have mononucleosis. So he's out, and they've got a few other bumps and bruises that may not be that significant. So we'll see what happens there. But it is good. They've got a tough schedule coming up, Joe. Yeah. My goodness, I have to give them that.
The only positive to take away from this is the fact that the Jets are one of the teams with the early bye week. Their bye week will be in week 4. You mentioned the schedule. So on Monday night they host the Browns. Then they're on the road for 2 games, the Patriots and then the Eagles, and then they're back home for the Cowboys and then the Patriots again. Not good. As Coach said, Sam Darnold out indefinitely with mono. Le'Veon Bell being held out of practice today, getting an MRI on the shoulder. He's experienced some soreness there. Hopefully that's all that it is. Quinnen Williams and C.J. Mosley, former Alabama stars, are both out right now with practice. And then, as we said yesterday, Quincy Enunwa on the IR with a neck injury. So the news not great for the Jets looking at week 2. And I guess we can go ahead and, in record fashion, award the NFC East Divisional Championship to the Patriots by week number 2. That has to be a record.
Well, I think they're going to play it out.
Yeah.
They're going to play it out here. It does look to some like this is just a matter of fact that the Patriots are going to win it. Now, they certainly are favored, more favored than ever. I really thought the best competition they would get would be from the Jets.
Right.
Now it would be the Bills. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens with the Jets when they get their people well again, but it may be too late then, as you well know. I just think it's going to be, to me, regardless of the positioning of the teams behind them, it really doesn't matter that much to me. I just enjoy watching the Patriots play.
Sure.
I enjoy watching how they approach each game, the strategy used, and all of the things that go with Patriot football.
Looking at the NFC story coming out of Washington is that Darius Geis is in town, taking a trip down here to pay a visit to Dr. James Andrews. According to the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, he is expected to have surgery on his meniscus on the right knee. He missed all of last season with a left knee ACL injury, so he's looking about 4 to 6 weeks of being out. So, Coach, you have to feel bad for a guy who had a lot of promise coming out of LSU, the next in that line of really good, great LSU tailbacks. And now in his second season, he has not been able to make it out of a full game yet. And you just feel really bad for a guy, just the injury luck that hits guys like this with all the talent and by all accounts had taken over the job. We thought that there might be a little bit of a timeshare with Geis and Adrian Peterson, and as camp went on, as we got started to the regular season, they even went so far as to make Adrian Peterson a healthy scratch for Week 1, and Darius Geis unfortunately going to be out now for extended period of time. Certainly hope that he is able to rebound and stay in good health and have a productive career.
Well, let me give you a little good news, I guess, on this. If it's just a meniscus, the cartilage, he won't be out 4 weeks. They do with arthroscopic surgery now what they used to do by cutting the knee open there to do cartilage damage repair. They don't do that anymore. They just do it with a scope. They go in. It's a very controlled, small area that they go in, and they take off the ragged edges and the tears. And we've had guys. I'm not sure. There are different degrees of this, so please don't. Nobody take this as the gospel.
Sure.
Okay. But we've had guys get a cartilage. Now, usually they were bigger guys, not the skilled people, but the bigger guys on a Sunday and play the next Sunday, 1 week. So it could very easily be less than 4 weeks that he's out.
And another knee injury, this one, again, just talking about the bad luck here to a really promising player. L.A. Chargers, who are already without Derwin James. Melvin Gordon is nowhere to be found as he continues to hold out. But the Chargers, who really for Phillip Rivers, almost his entire career, you go back to the beginning of Phillip Rivers' career, they were one of the best teams in football. Towards the middle, maybe like the last 6-7 years or so, the Chargers have been rebuilding and now have gotten back to a level where, barring health, really the Chargers were on that short list of teams that we thought could contend for the AFC Championship. So without Derwin James already, and now losing tight end Hunter Henry for the season after suffering a fracture to the left knee. Again, I'm sorry, I mistakenly said out for the season, but he's looking at a 4 to 6 week injury as well. But Hunter Henry, who was injured last year and was knocked out for the season, so another case of bad luck there. The Chargers, for as much potential as they've had in recent seasons, especially this year coming in, have to just really feel bad for them. I guess you don't have to if you're a fan of another AFC West team, but a team with so much promise, and another case where injuries seem to be derailing whatever hopes they had of accomplishing their goals this year.
Yeah, I agree that the Chargers have had some tough luck, but they found a way to make do what they had to have done. They've done a good job there, and I give them credit. I think there you have to go to coaching, you have to go to the veterans, and certainly they have some excellent people in those positions. So I give them a lot of credit. I think they're going to continue to be in the chase and will be a factor one way or the other coming down the stretch.
We do have a game tonight, and we'll talk about that now. As again, it's a rivalry game out of the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, both coming into this one 0-1. So of course, unless there's a tie, one of these teams is coming away with their first win of 2019. It is at Carolina, so 2 home games to open their season. Really a matter for me, Coach, of which quarterback is going to really shake off what were pretty poor performances from a week ago. Jameis Winston did not look good, did not look comfortable, partly because the offensive line throughout the game really didn't give him adequate time. And Cam Newton has never really found the form that made him the MVP of the league 3 years ago. Some questions about his shoulder. He's trying out a different throwing angle and just trying to figure things out. But no question about it, he's been beaten up a lot physically and I think mentally too over the last couple of years. So how do you see this one playing out? Again, at Carolina, Buccaneers and the Panthers trying to get their first wins of the year.
Well, there will be some home field advantage for Carolina playing there, but not a whole heck of a lot because it's the second game in a row at home early in the year. Sometimes that doesn't bode well unless you're playing a very, very prominent football team that they want to see, people want to see, and it means a lot. Usually the first 2 ball games, you can't say that it means everything in the standing, but this one means a heck of a lot to both teams. I think you've done a good job of laying that out. Now, especially to the 2 quarterbacks, I don't think that that Cam Newton has been able to fully handle the shoulder injury. I may be wrong, maybe putting too much emphasis on it, but I do think that shoulder injury has bothered him, Joe, since the day that he got it.
Oh, I think you're absolutely correct on that. Yeah.
I don't think that he's been able to shake that yet, nor do I think that he's completely over the little pains. I've been through this before, and once you get to a certain point, you think you're healed. You can do everything. You can throw the ball 50, 60 yards down the field with no problem. But when you really put the pop on the ball in your shoulder, you feel a little something in there, and it's like, don't do that again. It's like a warning, don't do that again. It's hard to explain, but you don't really have the confidence that you need. So anyway, long story short, maybe overloaded there, but I think that's primarily his problem. Jameis Winston has never been a disciplined quarterback, ever. Nor is he now. Nor do I think he will be in the future. So, be it as it is, and what may happen, I think they're going to have to make some decisions at Tampa. Not now, and maybe not this week, but within the next 6-7 weeks, they're going to have to start looking at what we're going to do for the future. Because is this our guy, or is it not our guy? And you're going to have to be realistic about it, and make the call. And you can't let anything stand in the way.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but regards to Winston, I said on Monday, I came in here and said, hey, I probably should have been on this train earlier on, but Winston, I think to some degree, has not been set up for success. Just there has been a lot of turnover, both in terms of the personnel, with coaching staffs and players. Now I believe if I'm correct on this, I think this is his 3rd head coach. I know Dirk Cutter was the one beforehand who was the offensive coordinator. I do not recall who the head coach was before Dirk Cutter.
Yeah, it is the 3rd.
So now Bruce Arians, again, being brought in for Jameis Winston and this passing attack. He has Mike Evans on the outside, Chris Godwin they really like. But if things were to kind of turn around for Jameis Winston, I know you don't necessarily believe that will be the case, but if it was, if Bruce Arians was able to get the best out of Jameis Winston, what exactly would look different from the Jameis Winston that we've seen so far to this point? Because he does have games where he looks really good and just really bad as well. Is it just consistency or something deeper there?
Well, it's something deeper, and it's something that's it's an intangible. It's hard to put your finger on. Plus the tangible deficiencies there. Placement of the ball on the throws is absolutely important. Certainly in the National Football League, it gives you the yak. That's largely responsible for the yak, the yards after catch, and also is certainly the consistency factor with third down and long, third and medium to long, where you've got to throw the ball down the field some for first down. That accuracy has to be there because you're going to throw through windows. 90% of the time, you're going to have to put the ball in a window. Now it becomes even more not only placement of the ball for the ability to run with it or to protect yourself, Joe, but I've got to protect the football from an interception. I've got to throw it through a window. So it becomes even more important to get that accuracy involved. And he just doesn't have it. He's more of a winger, a thrower rather than a passer. He's got a good arm and all that, but he's a thrower. He's undisciplined. I don't think that I personally don't think he reads too much when he's looking at the defense. Certainly not when he's dropping. I think it looks to me that he knows where he wants to go when the ball's snapped. He looks in that direction too long. He tips the defensive players off. He doesn't read. I don't know how much he prepares. I shouldn't say anything derogatory there because I don't know for sure how much he prepares. My guess is, looking at him play, that he doesn't spend the time preparing that other quarterbacks do. That's my guess. So I think it's probably a combination of the intangibles, the preparation, the dedication to a most demanding job, one of the most demanding jobs in the country. Quarterback of the National Football League team, you don't just go out and play on Sunday and quarterback a team. You have to submit to a tremendous amount of discipline to get yourself ready. Is he doing that? Can he do that? He just doesn't seem like that type person. Happy-go-lucky, come as it may type guy. And, of course, the accuracy it demands when you throw the football. And one is more of an intangible. The other is something you can see every game that you're in. So anyway, that would be my off-the-top evaluation.
Well, good insight there. If you want to weigh in, the number 623-1330. We're going to switch gears, take a time out, and come back and hit up the Week 4 slate of high school football in the area. We've got a good one coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN Pensacola. We'll be out at Washington High School as they host Gulf Breeze. Brian Ahatz with the PNJ joins the program next. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hi, Marty Smith here, and my friends at Marathon are really helping you save. Because right now you get 5 cents off every gallon every day with Make It Count rewards from Marathon. Plus, you can earn points for additional savings on fuel, airfare, hotels, and more. It's quick and easy to join. Just visit makeitcount.com/radio or download the free app. So start saving today with Make It Count from Marathon. Offer valid only at participating Marathon locations. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
Golic and Wingo.
A different host from ESPN Radio from around the country is going to make their pick in our Survivor Pool.
This is Davis Allen from ESPN Pensacola, and my pick for the Golic and Wingo Survivor Pool is Kansas City over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That might be the toughest game on the board week 1, and Pensacola is swinging with Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes.
5 to 9 every weekday morning. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. He's Coach K. I'm Joe Ford. As we have arrived at Thursday, 1 day left out of the week here before we hit the weekend, and a lot of great games to look forward to. Week 2 of the NFL starts tonight, Panthers and the Buccaneers. And already at week 4 of the high school football season, hard to believe that we're a little quarter past the season here, and before you know it, we'll be really diving in deep to the playoff conversation, and we got a good one coming up. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, ESPN Pensacola will be out of Washington High School as they host Gulf Breeze. As he does every Thursday at 12:15 on the Thursday, Brian Ahatz, PNJ reporter, does a great job covering the high school football landscape. Brian, I would be remiss, though, if I didn't start by asking you your thoughts on your Jacksonville Jaguars specifically. Are you all in on Gardner Minshew and his mustache?
We got to start there. I like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, hey, they're calling him Uncle Rico, the character from Napoleon Dynamite. You know, he's kind of got that vibe, and that was kind of bestowed upon him shortly after he was drafted in the Jacksonville area. So I've been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs, and I'm high on Gardner Minshew right now, though. I mean, he set a couple NFL debut records in that game last Sunday. So I like his swagger. I mean, he seemed to be fearless out there. So, you know, it's definitely not an ideal situation as a Jaguars fan. I mean, so much optimism about Nick Foles, you know, finally had a standout quarterback for the first time probably since, you know, Mark Brunell. And he made a great deep ball throw to DJ Chark for a touchdown, which is something Jaguars fans have. That deep pass for a touchdown, I haven't seen that a whole lot lately. So that was a really high point, and then about 30 seconds later, you realize Nick Foles was hurt. And but hey, Gardner did his thing. I mean, we all know Kansas City was one of, I think, the bottom 5 passing defenses last year, just to be fair. But it was a new year and new Minshew, and I mean, it was. I'll take it. I think if the Jags don't give up those, obviously you can't give up a big play for a touchdown at any level of football, and that was a huge difference maker. I think there was 2 of them in my eyes that were really big, just blown plays defensively. I think it could have been a closer game, but I like what Gardner Minshew did. And then, of course, Josh Dobbs is in the mix now, so maybe there's a little competition and make both iron will sharpen iron, if you will.
Did you just completely ignore the David Garrard era, or have you just wiped that from your memory bank?
No, that's there. I think when I think of David Garrard, I can't forget about that run and I think it was 2009 playoffs
Byron
he had against
too.
Pittsburgh. If you want to go through them, what? So what? We got Byron Leftwich, who was. We just heard Coach K talking about Jameis Winston being a thrower, not a passer. And, Byron Leftwich would, he had his moments, but golly, he had no touch. That guy would, on a 2-yard dig route, he's throwing at 99 strength, and it's bouncing off of his teammates, chest pads, and I liked a bit about each of those guys. I even liked something about Blaine Gabbert, but
that's tough to do.
You put Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles and I think Mark Brunell. I think they're in a neck above the rest of the guys we just talked about. Well, I did like things about all of them, definitely.
Brian Ahat's P&J reporter with us. Brian, when we talked last week, we highlighted a couple of guys, and I don't know if it was prophetic or not, but Eric Smith Jr., we talked about him, and also Frank Peasant, and some big news in the recruiting landscape with both of those guys.
I'm telling you, man, it's like hey, thumb on the pulse, man. Thumb on the pulse. It's you mentioned Eric Smith too. So it sounds like you've been you've been doing your homework, and you can see it. You can tell when these guys are flying under the radar, and it is kind of wild. I chuckled when you said that we talked about them, because I wasn't thinking about it right at that second, but we definitely did. And then Frank Peasant commits to Middle Tennessee, and Eric Smith Jr. picks up his first offer. So you watch high school football enough, and you can tell when a guy stands out, and sometimes you got to scratch your head and wonder what's holding them back from that offer, and or multiple offers. And unfortunately in high school a lot of times it's grades, but when you talk to these guys' coaches and realize that they're academically qualified, and you see the way that they play, you can spot these sleepers and realize, hey, it won't be long till they get that first offer. And you guys know the recruiting game only gets crazier and evolves every year. And nowadays with social media and everything, it gets, once you get going, you take off. And that first offer comes in, and it's like a lot of times it's like a floodgate is opening, and you say you get offered by South Alabama, like Eric Smith Jr., Sun Belt team. You're things out of 10 within the next couple of days. You're getting contacted by Troy and UL Lafayette and all the other teams in that conference, because they're like, hey, are we missing out on something here? So It just opens the line of communication, and things start rolling.
Week 4 of the high school football season. Tomorrow night we'll be out at Washington High School as they take on Gulf Breeze. Brian, besides that game, what are you looking forward to seeing out of the other area games? And specifically, are you going to be out there? Or are you going to be somewhere else this Friday?
Well, this is the biggest week we've had yet. We got a monster 10-game slate, including a game. Navarre is even headed to Tallahassee to play tonight. Because Tallahassee, they share, I think I can't remember that, maybe Gene Cox Stadium. A lot of teams share stadiums there, and so they got to fit in games where they can. Navarre is going to play tonight, so Week 4 starts tonight at actually I think 6 or 6:30 p.m. our time. So, games to be excited about. Definitely that Washington Gulf Breeze one being a district game is a good one for sure. I think there's 7 of these 10 games this Week 4 are district games, which in Florida high school football, district is everything. That's the only way you can guarantee a playoff spot is by winning your district. So I do like Gulf Breeze at Washington. I'm very intrigued by Baker at Northview. This is it might not be the one that people talk about the most in the city of Pensacola, but as far as the Pensacola area, this is a big one to look out for. Northview is the most recent state champion from the Pensacola area in 2012. Now, Baker has kind of had the Class 1A rural school region kind of in a chokehold, if you will, since that time pretty much. Baker's really dominated this region and had a lot of success going on to regional finals and state Final Fours and even played in the state championship game last year. So Northview, I think, I've been saying this, I think Northview is poised to have their best season since that 2012 state championship season. And Friday night will tell a lot about where the Chiefs are. They've had a very tough schedule for a 1A team, and it won't get any easier this week. Baker coming in 2-0 off of 2 just very explosive wins. Northview's had an explosive win and had a tough loss to Flomaton, which won a state championship in Alabama last season. So if Northview can win this one, they got to feel like, hey, we can go to Tallahassee for the state Final Four, or for the state championship. If they can get that monkey off their back and beat Baker, they'll probably know they have to see him again in the playoffs, but at least that'll be kind of that feeling of, hey, we can do this and we need to do it again. So that's going to be a lot easier said than done, but I think it's going to be an exciting game. I really want to see Northview running back Jaden Jackson in action, and we were just talking about how hard it is to crack that first offer and get recruiting exposure. And Jackson at Northview is just a junior running back, but he's been offered by Boston College. So for him to not only get a high caliber offer like that, but let alone to be at a 1A school with that much less exposure opportunity, tells you how special of a runner and an athlete he is. So I think that's going to be a cool one to watch.
Brian Ahutz, P&J reporter with us. Brian, we'll let you go with this. You talked about Gardner Minshew and just the swag that he has. You got to be feeling pretty good yourself after last week's showing in the Beat Brian sweepstakes there. You went undefeated last year, didn't you, last week?
Yeah, the train's rolling right now. 7-0 last week. That's just. I gotta toot my own horn. Here we go. I'm gonna start bragging, but I've only missed 3 games through 3 weeks. So but last week, 7-0. Come on now. I'm feeling great after that. There's been a couple tough games. It hasn't been super easy, and of course there's been some close finishes. It's kind of like I keep going back to that last segment you guys had about where Coach K was talking about Jameis Winston. But I am the guy that does the preparation. I am happy-go-lucky, but I do my preparation through the week, and I just go out there and execute when it's time to put my picks down. So I do consult with I had to lean on the shoulders of I guess you could call it a local guru. I got a buddy, Chris McGaw, who is just whenever I need to pick that one game and I'm right on the fence, I go to him and he's got a great grasp on the area, and sometimes you just need that second voice of reason, if you will. So Chris is clutch to have him in my corner, and I just stick to my formula and do what I do. So it's now that being said, real quick, I know I'm hot right now, but it's a crazy 10-game week. A lot of ways these games could go. So hopefully next week I when I'm talking to you, I don't have to, I'm not here licking my wounds or something like that. I'm trying to keep this train rolling.
So let's get Brian some elite competition this week. How can they sign up?
Well, unfortunately, this week, since there's a Thursday game, it is already closed. So my picks are out, and but on any given week, I encourage people to get a copy of the P&J print edition on Tuesdays. That's when you'll see the results from the previous week and have all the information on how to sign up. If you're not a print guy, you're a digital guy or gal, and you hop online, pnj.com/sports, and check out the Beat Brian articles. But it's all based off email. So you look at one of those articles, you'll find the games of the week on a Tuesday, and it'll give you till 6 p.m. Thursday to send me an email and clearly indicate those winners, and we'll go from there. So you just look for any headline that says #Beat Brian on a Tuesday or Monday night online, and that'll get you right. So any questions anybody ever has, I'm easy to reach on Twitter @PNJBrian, and it's been a fun season so far. There's people that are right there neck and neck there that have been hot too this year. So I just had a great week last week, that's for sure.
All right, well, Brian, we'll let you go. You have a good weekend. Go Jags, and we'll see you next Thursday, all right?
All right, Jags are back. I like that. Thank you very much.
All right, Brian Ahat's P&J sports reporter, does a tremendous job, and hey, he's on a hot streak right now, folks. So if it's not this week, get involved next week on the P&J Beat Brian contest, and see if we can't bring him down a notch or two, because he's feeling pretty good right now. But
we're going to do something like that, similar to that, between you, me, and our audience out there coming up. So stay tuned for contest details.
Yeah, maybe
be some fun.
Chance to pick NFL games against you. Maybe give away some stuff. Maybe we'll see.
So. Yeah, we certainly will have some nice gifts.
All right. Well, we'll come back and talk more college football and National Football League as Week 3 of the college football season gets started soon, and NFL Week 2 gets started here on Thursday night tonight between the Panthers and the Buccaneers. If you want to weigh in on anything that we're talking about, the number 623-1330. Back in a moment. ESPN Pensacola, 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every $1 spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Now's the time to travel and be with the people you care about the most. And at Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express, we're helping you be there for less. Save at least 25% at thousands of hotels worldwide if you book by September 24th. You won't want this moment to pass you by. So book today at holidayinn.com. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. It is Talk Football with Coach K, Joe Ford, and Kay Stevenson with you each and every weekday from noon to 1, getting you up to speed with all the news and notes you need for the weekend ahead. As right now we've been covering a lot about injuries. The New York Jets are going to be without Sam Darnold for the foreseeable future as he's dealing with mono. So the Jets and the Browns, so if you're playing Sam Darnold in your fantasy lineup, get him out of there and look for an alternative, as he will not be in uniform Monday night. Also, Le'Veon Bell, Quinnen Williams, C.J. Mosley, 3 star players for the Jets, are out of practice today. So Jets dealing with the injury bug right now, and we'll see what happens with them as they take on Cleveland on Monday night. Thursday night football tonight, the Panthers and the Buccaneers. Tomorrow night on ESPN Pensacola, we have Washington and Gulf Breeze. So we are very busy this time of year, and rightfully so. So we finally, Coach, heard some good news coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't know if you've heard this story. We haven't talked about this yet, but this is just one of those real feel-good stories that people love to hear. So there was a fourth grade boy in Florida. I think this is in the Orlando area, if I'm not mistaken, Altamonte Springs area, where he, on College Colors Day, did not have a University of Tennessee shirt, but he had an orange T-shirt. So he wore it to school, and he had a piece of paper taped to the orange shirt where he had drawn U of T on it. And he was being ridiculed about that at the school. So the teacher for this young boy posted on social media just talking about how she was feeling bad about this, but some classmates kind of came over and kind of supported him in this. So the University of Tennessee caught wind of this. So they initially announced that they were going to make the T-shirt design into an official shirt. So they put this shirt up for sale, and it completely crashed the Tennessee Volunteers store website. And now the university announcing today that it is offered a scholarship to this young boy, 4 years old. So looking ahead to the class of 2032, he has at least one scholarship offer already. So kudos to the University of Tennessee taking a stand against bullying there, and a lot of good publicity there for University of Tennessee for this family, and also money from the T-shirts were being donated to anti-bullying organizations. Stomp Out Bullying is the nonprofit that the T-shirts were proceeds from the shirts were going towards. So real good story there out of Knoxville. You like to see things like that.
Oh, absolutely. And I wish there's some way to stamp out bullying completely. It's just a terrible, terrible blight for these young kids.
We talked a lot about college football yesterday and looking ahead to the weekend, Coach. And while it's not a weekend with a lot of premier games, certainly not at the level of 2 games that we saw last week with LSU and Texas, and then Clemson taking on Texas A&M. still some decent games on the schedule, and I wanted to ask you, Coach. Maybe we talked about this a little bit yesterday, maybe not, but any games in particular that really stand out to you? I know one for me, one that is kind of an unusual matchup in that we don't really see from an established team from the Pac-12 doing battle with UCF, especially at UCF. That's an intriguing game to me. But anything else stand out at you on the week 3 slate of college football this weekend?
Yes, I do have 2 or 3 games that I think are going to be very interesting. First in the SEC, Alabama at South Carolina. Going to be an interesting game, and South Carolina's going to fight them now. That's going to be a battle. That'll be, I think, first half will be close. And Florida at Kentucky, and beware. Let me tell you, Kentucky's going to be ready to come out of the bushes up there on Florida. At Kentucky, yeah, that's going to be a heck of a ball game. And I like that Iowa State game. Tough, hard-nosed football game. I really like what Iowa State's done. Their coach is probably going to get a great offer after this year. But anyway, that should be a good ball game, real good game.
One thing that I wanted to ask you about, we posted this on our Facebook page, and if you're not following us, you can at ESPN Pensacola on Facebook. There are a lot of up-to-the-minute content as far as breaking news, and also some stories that you're able to comment on, and reading some of those on the air. So ESPN Pensacola, if you're not following us, to stay on top of everything that goes on in the world of sports. Sporting News came out yesterday with a list of the top 10 quarterbacks in college football history. Coach, you played the position. You have seen a lot of college football quarterbacks in your time, and just wanted to get your thoughts here. Starting at number 10, they had Sammy Ball. That may even be a little bit before your time there. Sammy Ball, John Elway checking in at number 9, Doug Flutie, Roger Staubach, and Deshaun Watson, 10 through 6 there. And then the top 5 college quarterbacks of all time, according to the Sporting News: Vince Young at number 5, followed by Tommy Frazier, Matt Leinart at 3, Peyton Manning number 2, and Tim Tebow as the best college football quarterback of all time. Now, it's a list. We all have them. Well, that's what makes lists so fun, is that I can disagree with you and I be right, and then you can disagree with me and you be right. It's all subjective, but just get your thoughts on there, because I think there are a couple of guys here who are left out, and some on here that probably shouldn't be in the top 10. But that's just me. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I think we're all going to feel the same way. Oddly enough, I knew Sammy Ball.
Okay.
Great guy, a wonderful man. Got some great stories about Sammy Ball.
I would love to hear him someday.
When he was coaching the Houston Oilers, but between he and George Blanda. So, but anyway, I think he was one of the first to come along and really take advantage of the forward pass as a quarterback in college football. No doubt about it. He did a great job. So somewhere in there, I think you'd have to put him. Now, statistically, people look at his statistics and they say, my gosh, what was a guy like that doing in here? You have to understand, it's like first guy to the job. He's the first guy on the job. So people didn't know that much about it, nor did they rely on it that much back then at all. Some not at all. There were still teams that never threw the football back then. General Neyland, I think, won a national championship and only threw the ball twice a game, and had to be forced to do that. So, yeah. But anyway, needless to say, though, I mean, there's some great names in there. I don't think we could argue too much with some of the names, but how you put them, the order you put them in, that's very subjective, and I wouldn't attempt to really go down that path.
And I guess I don't necessarily have a problem with any of the top 10 on here. I know that there would be a lot of questions. Peyton Manning was a really good quarterback, and he was a great college quarterback. I guess there was a guy, though, who was playing at the same time as him, for the University of Florida in Danny Werfel, who won a national championship, won a Heisman Trophy, and was unbeaten against Tennessee. And of course, that's always the knock on Peyton Manning in terms of his college accolades, is the fact that he never had really a signature win over Florida in such a big rivalry that was. Didn't win the Heisman. Now there's still a lot of argument that he should have been the winner over Charles Woodson and never won a national title. So for me, again, if you want to put him on the list, more power to you. That's fine. He would probably be the biggest question mark, at least being number 2. A couple other names that I would throw out there. For one season, I don't know that anybody in college football was more dominant than Cam Newton, and especially at the height of kind of the SEC supremacy, that arc that the conference had, where it wasn't just Alabama and maybe one or two other teams who were legitimate title contenders, but you had Alabama win a national title, you had Auburn winning a national title, LSU, Florida, so 4 teams that had won national titles in that era, that kind of peak arc, if you will, of the SEC, and for Cam Newton to be placed in that era of SEC dominance and to be as dominant as he was against the SEC for me, I think that season alone merits consideration on the top 10. And the other name that I would throw out, because were the awards there? No, but the team that he played on necessarily didn't lead to it, although they did make it to the national title game. I would have Michael Vick on there, probably for the same reason that you had, in how you talked about Sammy Ball and how he kind of was the first, or he kind of helped usher in a new era of quarterbacking in college football. To me, Michael Vick did the exact same thing in the late 90s and the early 2000s, where he was so dominant with his feet. He had just the laser rocket arm to go along with it. But I think that Michael Vick, for what he was able to accomplish at Virginia Tech, would also merit consideration for me. So there's just 3 guys that I would throw out there that weren't on the list of top 10 quarterbacks, but it's fun to talk about. But again, my list is mine, yours is yours, and everybody else's is everybody else's. But those are 3 guys that I would think would merit some consideration as well.
Yeah, well, I certainly would defer to you on your list.
Yeah.
And that obviously,
so we're not going to argue. That's fine.
No, it's just, you got to look at quarterbacking as a whole, and not just the games that they won or the era they were in or whatever. But as far as a pure quarterback, Manning certainly was all of that. I mean, he's what you look for in a quarterback. Get rid of the football right now, accuracy, intelligence, competitiveness, courage, all the things that you're looking for in a quarterback. He had it.
I've read on a couple of occasions, I read a biography on the Manning family, and one thing that always struck me that I didn't really know before reading it was that Peyton, when he was brought in as a freshman, they didn't really intend on him to play as a freshman. As a matter of fact, the quarterback who was above him on the depth chart was a guy by the name of Todd Helton, who went on to have a very accomplished career in Major League Baseball. So that was always a factoid that stood out to me. But as I recall, Peyton in his freshman year, I want to say that there was an injury to a couple of guys in front of him, and he started the season as the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart, and I think it was in the season opener, if I'm not mistaken, that he was thrust into action, and you could see just right away what type of talent he was, and certainly got better and better over the course of his college career. We'll take a timeout, come back, and make our picks for Thursday Night Football. The Panthers and the Buccaneers. We'll do that coming back. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
Dude, it's game day, and I'm fired up that football is back.
I know, but I'm bummed they don't show my favorite team on TV around here.
All right, well, what about that place Calvert's? They're a really cool English pub-style restaurant, and they have a really good drink menu.
Yeah, but what about the game?
Don't worry, they have the NFL Sunday ticket and plenty of TVs, so we can watch any game that we want.
Ooh, I just looked at the menu, and that Abbey Road burger is calling my name.
Calvert's in the Heights Restaurant and Bar, 3102 East Cervantes Street, calvertsintheheights.com.
Don't you hate scrambling on the road when you're looking for a place to spend the night?
We all do. That's why when you travel for work, stay at La Quinta by Wyndham.
They've got everything you need to tackle the job, from free high-speed Wi-Fi to a spacious workspace right in your room.
Plus, their Bright Side breakfast comes with waffles, eggs, fruit, and meat.
Now, that's a game changer.
They've got over 900 locations so you can cover the gridiron.
And best of all, they're part of Wyndham Rewards, so those extra points really add up.
Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at lq.com.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions. Like Company Pages, where you can get people excited about working for you. And we give you this toy monkey, which will bang its cymbals when the right resume appears. Okay, there is no monkey.
I said there is no monkey!
But Company Pages, for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo to try Company Pages for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
The key on offense is going to be whether Franks can come back and duplicate what he did in the last 4 games.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1 is all about high school football. Catch the biggest local games every Friday night on Pensacola's home for local sports and our sister station, News Radio 92.3 AM 1620. ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 on the FM. Talk football with Coach K. Every weekday, noon to 1. Coming up tomorrow, high school football will be out at Washington High School as they take on Gulf Breeze. As we talked to P&J's Brian Ahatz earlier in the show, let us know what to look for in week number 4 of the high school football season. A couple of local athletes, Eric Smith Jr., standout wide receiver for Washington High School, picked up his first D1 scholarship offer to South Alabama, and also Frank Peasant, outstanding running back for Escambia, committed to Middle Tennessee State. So congratulations to both of them. Certainly keeping our eye on all of the interesting news and notes from around high school as well as college and the NFL. So, Coach, we have a game tonight, and looking ahead to tomorrow, we'll be making our full complement of picks in both college and professional football, but we do have one game tonight, Coach. The Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is going to be played in Carolina, and whatever happens, one team is going to be 0-2, and another is going to be 1-1. A lot better to be 1-1 as opposed to 0-2. So how do you see this one shaking out?
What's the point spread on that game?
Give you a second here. Probably should have had this one ready to go.
Probably about 3, because we got to use this as a spread when we pick games. We can't Wouldn't be fair just to pick a game, I don't think.
Let me get that for you here. It is, what is it, 3?
I'm going to, that's probably about right. I'm going to pick Carolina to cover.
I'm going to pick Carolina as well. I think they will cover. I just haven't seen enough out of the Buccaneers yet. I don't trust Cam Newton as much as I do the running game. I think it's a big night for Christian McCaffrey. We'll be back to break it all down tomorrow. Noon to 1, talk football with Coach K.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
From coast to coast, The Stephen A. Smith Show.